Hey guys, my name's Katlyn. Welcome back to our Dragon Pharma YouTube channel. I've been on here a few times and today we have a special guest, Natalie. She's going to be joining us today. So Natalie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Natalie. I am a Legionary Dragon Army athlete. I work a 9-to-5, your typical 9-to-5 job. I am also getting my master's done and I am a wellness competitor.
You said that you're going to be competing in wellness. This is going to be your first wellness show.
Yes.
So tell us like a little bit about your bodybuilding background, how many shows you've done, what division you're coming from.
I started competing back in 2019. I was in college still, and I was in the bikini division because at the time there wasn't wellness. So I started prep for my first show while I was in college still. I competed and I won my class, so I qualified for nationals. Then that was in 2019, and then 2020 I was prepping for a show, The Clash, and I was 3 weeks out and COVID canceled it. I was so devastated. I was like, nah, I did not get these shreds for like no reason. So I did like a photo shoot, a video shoot. I was trying to get like everything done. I think like my biggest fear within going to do like my show, my first show, is like that I'm going to be in that like, oh, she's too big for bikini but not big enough for wellness. So I feel like that already is a little bit starting to creep up in my head, like the back of my head, like, oh, you're not big enough, you're not big enough. So it's like, I mean, it helps because when I'm training, I'm like, I gotta get big.
Somebody that I've always looked up to into the wellness division before it was even here in the US was Franciele. The main reason that I look up to her is because I think she represents wellness so well. I'm so glad that she won the Olympia and is now like the wellness standard because she's so muscular, but at the same time so feminine and so beautiful. And I think she's like everything that wellness should stand for. So she's always been like an athlete that I've admired. Why don't you share like your favorite athlete or idol?
Well, before I share mine, I do want to ask you, was she your favorite before she won the Olympia?
Yes. She's been my favorite since I've been watching the girls in Brazil.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I would have to say that mine would be Angela, because I just got to have like a personal conversation with Angela, like in person. So I think just when you see these athletes on Instagram, you know, we all know how Instagram is. Instagram is like your best moments. You're showing your best moments, your highlights of your life and whatever. So it's just like, I don't really know how these pros are. And I'm like very big on personality, like along with putting in hard work. So I think like Angela really stood out to me because I got to know her kind of, I mean, obviously not at like a deep level, but I kind of got to know her. She came to Powerhouse one day and I remember seeing her and I was just like, she was on a Stairmaster and her glutes were like popping out in my face and I'm like, whoa, like 3D. I'm like who is this? And so I didn't really know who she was at first. So I'm like trying to see if she's on Powerhouse Instagram. Like I was that creeper, I'm like trying to find her, and I found her, and she was competing for the Arnold last year. And so I found her, I started following her, and I'm like, oh my god, like she's gonna compete. And then she ended up, she got second or first at the Arnold last year. I can't remember.
I think Franciele won the Arnold last year.
Oh, she won. Okay, so I think she got second. And then, so then she continued training. She stayed here, continued training for the Olympia. And I was like, man, if I catch her at Powerhouse again, like I need to go up to her. I need to ask her some questions or just, you know, and she's Brazilian. So it's like I can speak to her in Portuguese. So when I saw her again, I went up to her and I just kind of asked her like your basic, like, you know, what's your advice? What do you recommend? Or what do you think? I kind of told her what my training looked like, my diet.
Speaking speaking of 3D glutes, today we are actually gonna go through a glute workout. So stay tuned and we're gonna show you guys how wellness girls train glutes.
Let's get it. Alright guys, so I'm about to take some pre-workout. I got Mr. Vane's and Venom. Mr. Vane's my favorite. Okay, which one do you want?
I'll take the
Venom?
recommendation, small scoop if you're a first timer.
That's so true.
Alright, so we are gonna start with our abductors. This is one of my favorite machines, the Gluteator. So we're gonna do this 2 different ways. We're gonna start 15 reps, leaning back. Now I'm going to bring my feet all the way down. I'm going to do the same exact thing, keeping my abs tight. We're gonna do a Smith machine squat with our heels elevated. We're gonna use these little wedges, heel wedges. Thanks for the help. See how she's keeping her chest up the whole time, but driving her hips back. So she's engaging the glutes more. And then as she's coming up, she's almost engaging her adductors. So it's almost like you're coming inside, but not actually bringing your knees in. So you're pushing your hips back, engaging the glutes on the way up, and then right back down, keeping a constant contraction. As soon as you straighten your legs, your glutes are no longer engaged. Up, we're gonna do hip thrust. So luckily we have like 10 different options of hip thrust here. So I want to do standard hip thrust. I like to do 2 different ways, regular standard hip thrust, and then I like to do staggered stance hip thrust, isolating each glute by themselves.
Quick little shout out to Iron University where we're training at, where there are so many glute options to grow the booty.
Alright guys, so I'm going to do a superset. I'm going to do regular standard hip thrust, 15 reps, and then I'm going to do 10 on each side for single leg. Coming right back up. And for my staggered stance, all I'm doing is bringing one foot out further away. I'm gonna balance the bar. Most of the weight's gonna be on the right side of my hip, pushing through this heel. This foot is just to balance myself. Same thing for the other side. Okay, I'm going to do 3 sets of this also, increasing the weight each time.
How far do you put it up? Like here?
I'm bringing it almost to the edge.
To the edge?
Yeah, right there. So we are going to do a cable kickback. This machine doesn't go down all the way to the floor, so if you have one like this, you're going to want to use something elevated to stand on. And then you'll set your weight, and we're just going to do a standard kickback, but instead of kicking straight back, I'm going to turn my toe out a little bit to engage my upper glutes. So slightly point my toe out, keeping my body straight, chest up, squeezing that glute back, slow on the way down. I want to keep my leg as straight as possible without bending my knee. of the kickbacks, 15 to 20 on each side, and then we'll increase the weight each side. Okay, so before we end the video, I do want to see your wellness posing, because obviously wellness posing is very different than bikini, and I want to know how often you have been practicing your wellness posing.
So I've been watching different people like pros pose and everything, and trying to figure out what works for my body. I would say at least for right now, like it's been twice a week. Like when I check in, I'll do like a quick posing routine, and then from those from that posing routine, that's my check-ins to my coach.
Definitely one thing that I would recommend is posing, off-season posing 2, 3, 4 times a week, because no matter what you think you're gonna do on stage, if it's literally not like the back of your hand comfortable in it, you're probably not gonna do that on stage. And practice your posing without a mirror. Set your phone up facing you. Do the posing where you can't see yourself, because on stage you obviously can't see yourself until you get the footage back, and then you're like, what was I doing what was I doing with my hand? Why was I making that face? Like, it's just, your first show normally is like a disaster with the posing. Even if you practice or you think you practiced enough, you probably didn't. So practice your posing, hire a posing coach, watch videos, watch tutorials, look at yourself in the mirror, see what works for you, and just be comfortable. Take a deep breath, even though when you're backstage you're like, everything's shaking, you can't breathe. So yeah, so let's see your wellness pose. Okay guys, so I want to wish Natalie the best of luck on her first wellness competition. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, like this video, comment what you guys want to see next or what you want to see more of on the Dragon Pharma YouTube channel.
Wait, before we leave, if you want to be part of our team, go to dragonarmyofficial.com and apply now.